After the first bullying incident, Suwa didn't stop there. The next day, Alma walked into class feeling a little better, almost convinced that maybe everything would be normal again. But as she sat down, she instantly knew something was wrong. A strange, cold sensation spread under her. She tried to shift but felt stuck. Glancing down, her eyes widened. Someone had smeared strong glue on her chair. Her skirt clung awkwardly, and the students around her began to snicker. Ji-yun rushed over, helping her up gently as the teacher walked in, completely unaware of what had just happened. Alma kept her head down the entire lesson, cheeks burning, refusing to cry. Then came another stunt. During lunch break, Alma returned to her desk to find her neatly organized notes soaking wet. Someone had spilled water, intentionally poured water, all over her books. The ink ran across the pages like tears. She looked around. Suwa sat a few desks away, filing her nails like nothing had happened. But her smirk gave her away. Alma had had enough. When the teacher stepped out for a moment, Alma stood up, turned to Suwa, and asked loud enough for the whole class to hear, "Why are you doing this to me? What did I ever do to you?" Whispers filled the room. Everyone turned, eyes darting between the two girls. Suwa chuckled, tilting her head. "Are you really asking that, pretending not to know?" She stood slowly, arms crossed. "Ever since you came to this school, everything has changed. Everyone looks at you now. Even he does." Alma blinked. "If you came all the way from Ghana to find your Korean oppa," Suwa said with a smirk, "then I'm sorry to tell you that oppa is my boyfriend." Min-jun, got it? The room went silent. Alma's voice was calm but firm. "I didn't come here to find my Korean oppa. I came to experience the rich Korean culture. And for the record, there's nothing going on between Min-jun and me." She paused, then continued. "Fine. If you want me to stay away from him, I can do that. So we have a deal, right?" Sua's lips curled into a victorious smile. "Yes." After their confrontation in class, something in Alma quietly shifted. She kept her promise. She avoided Min-jun. She stopped looking for him in the halls, chose different routes to class, and even sat at the far end of the cafeteria whenever he was nearby. If he walked toward her table, she would excuse herself, pretending to need something, anything, just to avoid being there. And Min-jun noticed. At first, he thought it was just a coincidence. But after the third time she turned around and walked the other way in the hallway, his expression began to cloud. He tried to catch her between classes, but Alma was always a step ahead. She buried herself in schoolwork, clung tightly to Ji-yun, and made sure every moment of her day was too busy to talk. One day, Min-jun found her on the rooftop during break, sketching in her notebook, earphones in. "Alma," he said gently. She froze. Slowly, she removed one earpiece and turned to him. "Oh, hey. Sorry, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now." He took a step closer. "Did I do something wrong?" Alma's heart squeezed. She hated how hurt he sounded. "No," she said quickly. "It's not you. I just need some space. That's all." She forced a smile before slipping past him and disappearing down the stairs. Min-jun stood there for a long moment, his gaze heavy with something Alma didn't dare name. It wasn't easy for her either. The semester passed in a blur of study sessions, midnight snacks with Ji-yun, and long walks around campus. Final exams came and went. When the results came out, Alma beamed. She had done well. It felt like a small victory. She was finally beginning to feel like she belonged. Then came the winter break. Most of the Korean students who lived in Seoul went home, including Suwa, Min-jun, and Ji-yun. Only the international students and a few boarders stayed on campus. The dorm halls grew quiet, the cafeteria less crowded. Alma enjoyed the stillness. She read more, explored parts of the school she hadn't noticed before, and even journaled her favorite memories so far. But as the break dragged on, something else crept in, loneliness. She didn't want to admit it, but she missed Ji-yun's chaotic energy, and Min-jun's smile. Just when she was starting to feel a little too alone, something unexpected happened. One evening, she stepped downstairs to grab some snacks, and there he was. Min-jun, standing by the vending machine, holding 2 drinks. "Alma," he said, smiling softly. She froze. "Min-jun. What are you doing here?" "I came back early. I thought I might find you here." She looked away. "You shouldn't." "Wait," he said gently. "Just, give me 5 minutes." She hesitated. Then nodded. He handed her one of the drinks and pulled out a small envelope. "This is for you," he said. She took it. A birthday invitation. His birthday. Her heart skipped. I want you there," he said before she could finish. "Please." And just like that, he walked away. Alma stared at the envelope long after he had gone. Was she really going to do this? Alma stared at the birthday invitation for hours that night. She placed it on her desk, then hid it in a drawer, then pulled it out again. Min-jun had looked so sincere. So hopeful. But the warning Suwa had given her still echoed in her mind. Stay away from him, and all this will end. The bullying had stopped after she kept her distance. Was it worth the risk to attend one party? By morning, she still hadn't decided. Then came a knock at her door. It was Ji-yun. And she was already dressed in full shopping gear, fluffy earmuffs, a thick coat, and 2 large tote bags. "Let's go," she chirped. Alma blinked. "Go where?" "Min-jun's birthday is tomorrow," Ji-yun said matter-of-factly. "And you, my friend, are not showing up looking like someone who's been hiding in a library all break." "I never said I was going," Alma muttered. "Oh, please. You're definitely going. Unless you're seriously okay with spending the night eating instant noodles while the whole school dances under fairy lights." Alma hesitated. Ji-yun stepped in and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "Look, don't let one person ruin your time here. You came to Korea for an adventure, remember?" Alma sighed. "You always know what to say." "I know," Ji-yun grinned. "Now come on. Seoul awaits." They wandered through the boutiques of Myeongdong, trying on dress after dress. Ji-yun twirled around in sequins, while Alma mostly stuck to the back of the dressing room, unsure about everything. But when she stepped out in a soft pink, off-shoulder dress covered in light sparkles, Ji-yun froze. "Girl," she gasped. "That's it. That's the one." Alma looked in the mirror. She barely recognized herself. The dress hugged her just right, glowing under the store lights. Paired with white heels, soft pink lip gloss, and her long braids pulled into a cute high ponytail, she looked beautiful. "I look like a K-drama second female lead," Alma whispered. "No," Ji-yun corrected her with a wink. "You look like the lead." That night, the school's banquet hall shimmered like a scene out of a movie. Fairy lights twinkled above, soft music floated through the air, and the room buzzed with excited chatter. Students gathered in groups, dressed to impress. Even the teachers present were smiling more than usual. Min-jun stood near the entrance, wearing a sleek black blazer over his usual white jersey shirt. His hair was styled perfectly, and his expression, calm as ever, only broke when Alma walked in. The room fell silent for a moment. Heads turned. Mouths fell open. Alma stepped inside slowly, clutching her small gift bag, her heels clicking softly on the marble floor. Her pink dress sparkled under the lights, and her ponytail swayed as she moved. Min-jun stared. So did Suwa. From across the room, Suwa's expression darkened. She muttered, "How did that girl get in here?" One of her friends gently tugged her arm. "Hey, don't make a scene. It's Min-jun's party." Alma and Ji-yun approached the gift table, where everyone had been dropping off presents. Min-jun stepped closer. "I'm glad you came," he said quietly. Alma smiled, a little shyly. "Thanks for inviting me." They held each other's gaze for a second too long, before Ji-yeon cleared her throat and dragged Alma away to the dessert table. Later that evening, the music softened. The lights dimmed slightly, casting a dreamy glow across the room. It was time for the traditional birthday dance. Everyone watched as Min-jun stepped onto the center floor. Everyone expected him to turn to Suah. Even Suah expected it. She began to rise from her chair, smoothing her dress. But Min-jun didn't look at her. Instead, he walked straight past her, and headed toward the buffet table. Alma, with a cupcake in hand, blinked up in confusion. Min-jun stopped in front of her and held out a hand. "Would you like to dance with me?" A collective gasp filled the room. Alma stared, wide-eyed. What? Suah's jaw dropped. Her friends looked at each other nervously. "Just one dance," Min-jun said softly. "Please." Alma's hand hovered midair. What would happen if she said yes? And if she said no? The entire room waited, breath held. What will Alma choose? Will Suah let this slide? Will this one dance change everything? Don't miss episode 6. Coming soon.